Good morning everyone and welcome to our Jean Delights Port Showcase. How are we all feeling about this week? Good. Well, thank you so much for coming along to see us this morning, taking time out your sea day. So if you've never done a port showcase before, the reason we do this is to give you some insight on what you can expect on some excursions that you're joining, but also if you're wanting to head off independently. And also, as just to mention, we will be going through the itinerary change in a little bit more detail throughout here, so don't panic about that. You will know all information needed. So my name is Domenica and I am part of your Destination Services team, and along with me today is my amazing colleague Jodie.
Morning everybody.
Oh, good reactions. And we've also got Poi and Marco, who's currently manning the desk, and our amazing bike guide Rahul as well. So before we get started into the itinerary, Jodie's going to go through some things that you might need to know throughout your week.
Thanks Dom, and once again thanks for coming along this morning, guys. Just before we continue, we wanted to mention that we are now ticketless. So if you've cruised with us before and you're used to getting in your cabin and seeing your tickets, this is the reason why you didn't see any tickets. You can now find your excursion departure times and meeting locations under the My Bookings section of My Shore Excursions on the Navigate app, or using the kiosks which are on deck 5. Do keep in mind that many excursions have different departure times, so it's really important that you stick to the ones that you guys have been allocated in My Bookings. If you see another one on the screen under Shore Excursions, that will just mean that we've had such demand that we've had to put more excursion times for that one. Now, we know this is a change from what some of you may be used to if you've cruised with us before, so if you have any questions or you need a bit more clarification, please come and see us at the Destination Services desk on deck 5. And just a little bit more useful information, when you're browsing the excursions, looking for things that you possibly want to book, you will notice that at the bottom, we grade each excursion based on its activity level. So these are easy walking, moderate walking, energetic, and active. If you fancy exploring the port on 2 wheels as well, however, seeing these ports in a different light, we've got our amazing bike guide Rahul, and they're a really sustainable and fun and different way of enjoying these destinations. And without further ado then now, I think we should just probably dive into our first port of call, which is Izmir. A lovely, busy coastal city nestled along the Aegean coastline. Izmir is also Turkey's 3rd largest city and a cosmopolitan port of call at that, making it not your usual Turkish port, and it's quite built up as well. However, it's good to experience a contrast and see a different side to Turkey, I suppose, with it only being around a 10-minute walk to the main shopping street. It's important to mention that in this particular Turkish port of call, they do not accept euros here, only Turkish lira. And on board, we are unable to exchange money to lira. However, there's an ATM just at the port exit, and most places that you visit will accept card. Just to give you a rough guide, £1 is the equivalent of around 50 Turkish lira. If you're looking to book up some Turkish bargains, then the Kameraltı Bazaar is one of the most famous and historic bazaars in the city, which is around a 20-minute drive from the port. Taxis are readily available from just outside also. And to make the most of your time in Izmir, as always, we would highly recommend joining one of our organised guided excursions, and we've got a really great programme for you to choose from this week. As we navigate through our itinerary this week, we'll share more on our other Turkish ports of call.
Fantastic. Now, one of the main reasons that we adopted Izmir is, of course, for Ephesus. So Ephesus is actually one of the greatest archaeological sites in Turkey. So the ancient city started as an Ionian settlement and grew to become the 2nd largest city in Roman Empire. Now, on our Ephesus excursion, you'll visit all the best bits, including the gymnasium and the remains of the Grand Stadium. So that is worth definitely having a visit to. You'll also see the breathtaking Grand Theatre, which once hosted the Festival of Artemis, before heading towards the Library of Celsus, referred to as one of the grandest libraries of antiquity. Now, before returning back to the ship, you'll have some free time at the bottom of Ephesus. Now, down at the bottom, you've got some food stores, you've also got toilets to jump into before heading back on the bus, but you've also got some small bazaars, so if you are wanting to take home some fakes, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Now, it is worth mentioning that Ephesus from Izmir is around 1 hour and a half journey, so you do get a toilet stop on the way there, but not on the way back, so that is just a little bit, just so you know before you start booking up.
where, Dom, I don't know if you knew this, but the Virgin Mary herself was actually believed to have spent her last days there.
Yeah, I heard you can actually go inside it as well.
Yeah, once you've visited outside, you'll queue. It's only a few in at a time, to be honest, because it's so small. But in there, you can collect some water from the Holy Spring and leave a ribbon in the form of a prayer on the prayer grid. Here, you'll carry on to the world-famous archaeological site of Ephesus for your walking tour. And here, you'll tick off a list of sites, including the Temple of Hadrian, the Marble Street, and the Celsus Library. We don't recommend Ephesus for anyone with reduced mobility or wheelchair users as well, just FYI, because of the cobble streets and uneven terrain.
Thanks for that, Georgie. Now, they are very popular ones. Again, one of the main reasons that we do come to Izmir. But if you're wanting to stay a little bit closer and not wanting to do the travel, then we do have our Izmir city tour. So you'll begin with a panoramic tour of the city, which is actually famous for its ancient ruins and modern skyscrapers, would you believe? Now, the main highlight is the new archaeological museum, which celebrates and preserves the rich history of the Aegean region, offering an enriching experience for visitors and contributing to the cultural and educational fabric of the city. Heracleum on Saturday, so let's have a little look at the video.
Wedged between clear blue waters and limestone mountains, its capital is also the island's biggest city. With its modern waterfront and Venetian old town, it walks the line between old and new with style. You can get to grips with the island's history at the Archaeological Museum. You'll find it in the shadow of an impressive fortress. If you only have time to see one site while you're here, head to the Palace of Knossos. After the Acropolis, it's the second most visited monument in Greece. Tiles, frescoes and painted pillars, it's show-stopping stuff. And whispering voices say it's the home of the fabled Greek Minotaur.
Thera is the capital of Santorini, one of Greece's Cycladic islands. It's built on the edge of a caldera, a crater created by a collapsed volcano. In Latin, caldera means cooking pot. The whitewashed and blue-domed buildings have become an iconic sight in travel books. You won't see any cars on the city's cobbled streets. It's a strictly on-foot affair. The narrow lanes are crammed with designer boutiques and traditional souvenir stores. There are two museums to visit: the Museum of Prehistoric Thera and the Archaeological Museum. The Museum of Prehistoric Thera houses artifacts that date back to the late Neolithic period, otherwise known as the New Stone Age. Santorini is known for its black sand beaches, which formed due to historic volcanic activity. Perissa Beach is considered one of the most beautiful. You can hop on a ferry to the picture-perfect island of Paros. It takes around 2 hours.